Good morning, good evening, good day, everybody, wherever you are. This is Joe from Wisej Group again with a new video. And in this video, I would like to show you a little bit of the navigation bar that is included into Wisej. So let's start with a fresh solution. Creating a new web page application. Nav test, I call this one. Create it. Takes a little moment. We don't need the start page. And let's open the main page. Okay, there it is. Right now you'll see nothing special. It's just a blank page. Wisej starts and nothing to see. So what we're going to do now is open a few windows that we need. For example, the properties, we need the error list, we need the toolbox. And in the toolbox, when I type navbar, I don't find it. And this is just because I haven't added it from NuGet. So let's add that one. NuGet, and I'm browsing for Wisej2.nav. Should be there. Okay, select this one, install. There you go. We can close NuGet now. And now when I go back to the toolbox and type navbar, there it is. I'll drag it over to my window, and there is my navigation bar. A little bit ugly now, so let's set some of the properties. For example, we'll give this the name navbar. Sounds good to me. And what we're going to do now is dock this one to the left. Okay, there it is, our navigation bar. It has a title on top, it has an item area, and it has a user area. So let's go through the properties one by one, only the important ones. For example, we have the items property, which is a collection. And I'll add 3 items, that's enough for now. It also should have a text. Let's call this item 1, item 2, and you might have guessed it, item 3. There we go. An item also can have an image. Where is it? Let's go there. We'll select one of the theme images. This looks good to me. You can do this for each of the items, of course. An item can also have sub-items. I have clicked on this first item, and as you can see here, the properties window has changed to this item. I have given this an icon, and I can also give this sub-items. For example, let's call this sub-item 1 and sub-item 2. If I can type correctly. Okay, I do not see the sub-items. What do? I have a property called expanded, and when I expand this, I see the sub-items. You can also switch this expanded property at runtime. But let's go step by step. For example, the back color we will leave as is. We don't want to change the back color. A context menu can be added for the individual items as well as for the navigation bar itself. So let's see how this works. Context menu, there it is. And from the context menu, I'll add menu items. There we go. 1, 2, 3 items. We don't see it here, so let's run it. And I did a mistake. Did you already realize what it was? When I right click, nothing happens. This is because I haven't hooked up the context menu to the navigation bar. So what I have to do here is hook up this new context menu, go back to the application, run it, right mouse click, and there we are. This works for the whole navigation bar, but each individual item can have an individual context menu. You can also create a context menu on the fly at runtime, dependent on which item is selected. Okay, what we also have is the compact view. For the compact view, if you switch it to true, the whole thing is collapsed. And now when we run it, it is collapsed. It's docked. We have already done that. So what else do we have? Let me see on my cheat sheet. I can set the image height, which is 45 pixels. Now you can set this to 32, for example, so the items are closer together. What we also have is the logo image. Let me choose one. For example, which one should I choose? Oh, this one is good. Okay, this logo is the one next to the title. And by the way, speaking of the title, let's go to the title and call this Demo App. There you go, the Demo App. Okay, next property, resizable edges is also a very interesting property. Resizable edges defines which edges of the control reacts on resizing. I'd say let's put this to right. And now the right edge of the property can be of the control can be resized at runtime. There you go. And all the other controls on the form will behave accordingly. So let's make an example. I'll put a panel down there, dock that to the parent container. Now it occupies the whole page. And in order to see where this panel is, I will add a background image. I've prepared a little image like this one. Okay, now we can see that, and if I run the application, we can see the navigation bar on the left and the panel on the right. And now when I resize the navigation bar, the panel resizes accordingly. Okay, that sounds good. While we're at it, let's add a button. And this button is meant to open and close the compact view. Equals. So the compact view is a Boolean property, and switching its state shows or hides the navigation bar. So let's run it. And this is the way you can show or hide the navigation bar. You could also use a click on the title or whatever. Okay, what else do we have? We also have the tooltip text. The tooltip text. Okay, now let's run it again. And when I hover over the nav bar, I see the tooltip. Okay, this tooltip is valid for the whole navigation bar. Each individual item can have a tooltip. Okay, now let's talk about the user display. The user display is on the bottom left. There's nothing fancy to see here now, unless we set some of the properties. First of all, we need an image. Let's drag one. into the project. Okay, now user avatar, select an image. I'll use this one, and you see the image of the person here. The person also has a name. Let's call it Joe Meyer. Or no, let's call it Bart Simpson. Let's match the picture and the name. And the status is sleeping. And we also set the color. The color, let's use this one. Oh no, that's almost similar to the old one. Let's use this one. Okay, so we have the avatar, we have the name, we have the status, and we have the color of the status. And you can switch this user display on and off, like so. And at runtime, it looks like this. Wisej starts, and there we go. Okay, so that's for the navbar itself. Now let's look at the items. The navbar has a property collection of items, and each item has quite a few properties that you can play with. For example, the appearance, colors, what is the text. I can change this to a different text. It also has an individual tooltip text. And of course, the caps lock is on. Let's change this to item 1 tooltip, and I'm going back to item 1 on the text. We also can enable or disable. And we can set the icon and many other things. You may want to play with all of this. You know, when I run this, you remember I changed the tooltip of the item 1, and there it is. And as you can see, there are also sub-items. These sub-items are defined when you click the bar item, and the bar item itself has sub-items. And these sub-items can have icons and all the other properties, just like the top-level items. And you can also expand the item programmatically by switching expand to, not enabled, expanded to true or false. Okay, I've explained the tooltips, I've explained the text and all of these things. And one last thing I want to show you is you can set allow HTML to true. You see we still have navbar item 1 selected. And now on the text, I can insert HTML tags. Okay, maybe it's not quite visible here, but it's not too obvious here. With the bold tag, you can also use different fonts, italic fonts. Italic fonts might be a good idea, actually. There you see. Now you see the item in italic. This is basically everything I wanted to tell you today. One last thing, when you click an item, you would want to handle the item click event. And that's basically it. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I wish you happy coding. Goodbye.